Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from, I almost said McGeehans, but it's not McGeehans. It's from the Catch here in beautiful Key Largo. And I'm being joined here with Bill. Say hi, Bill.
Hi, how y'all doing?
Luke. Say hello, Luke.
Howdy.
And does Diane and we have someone that doesn't want to be announced, but Diane and Cheryl want to say hello?
Hello.
Okay. That's Cheryl. This is Diane.
Hello.
Okay. Today's episode is called Anger Management, A License to Chill. And there's a blend because we'll be talking about movies a little later. I also was thinking about Tomorrow Never Blends. That's kind of take on a James Bond movie.
There you go.
Goldschlager instead of Goldfinger. Goldschlager, he's got a drink made of gold.
I was thinking of Stankfinger.
Okay. See, we were going to have to go to that anyway. Spoon Shaker, too. But what I wanted to start out with before we talk about anything else, I was contacting some friends in, what's this? Okay. Oh, I'm getting money shoved in my pocket. I just finished a shift.
That's even better.
I just had I had one of my coworkers shoving money down the front of my pants. Well, years ago, I think everyone knows I'm from Philadelphia, and there's this local bar I used to hang out called McGeehans. It's in Northeast Philly, corner of Cottman and Cottage, and it's a Philadelphia institution. It's now called McGeehans Rock Bottom. So when you get there, they say you finally reached rock bottom. I think it's a great name. It's kind of
there
kitschy.
You go.
It's family run. It's in the basement of a row home on the corner of Cottman and Cottage. 4 generations, all the way from Prohibition up to present. The family still owns it. This is the place when my family came from the same neighborhood. I lived there when I was a child. Then I moved away for at least almost 20 years, and then came back after I left the Navy, and I lived in the neighborhood, and I went right back to McGeehans, and they treated me like a friend and member of the family.
Like a long-lost brother that showed back up.
They did. I became sort of the extended family. Mr. and Mrs. McGeehan, Mike, Pat, Neil, Megan, Nora, and John. I forgot John almost. And their husbands and wives. The women had husbands and the men had wives. Just so you know, it's Philadelphia. I moved to.
That could be different over Key West.
I was there in my late 20s, early 30s, and I told you my family's from that neighborhood. Well, Mr. McGeehan was very fatherly and sage to me, very nice guy. And one time we started getting into the background, Billy, about I got more money shoved in my pocket about where my family's from the neighborhood. And he says, what was the name of your family? And I said, Walcheck. And he says, was your uncle Billy Walcheck? And I say, yeah. And he mentioned 35 years before, he got a lifelong ban from the same bar. My uncle got a lifelong ban from the same bar. I think he was still alive at the time when I found out from Mr. McGeehan.
You got to do something pretty spectacular.
Well, I know my uncle. I remember my Uncle Billy. He definitely, whatever he did, he probably did.
Grab
whatever
your own
kids.
pussy.
Uncle Bill was Uncle Bill was 5'6". He was a Marine at one time, but he had that look on his face that one of those guys that like a human Woody Woodpecker, like a troublemaker. So when I finally talked to Mr. McGeehan, he said, "Hey, listen, why don't you tell your Uncle Bill the ban is lifted?" And I'm gonna be telling some stories in the future about McGeehans because there's a lot of great stories at that place. A very friendly place, and I love that place. So here we are. We're at the Catch in Key Largo. It's happy hour, 3:30 to 6:30, Monday through Friday. Today it's happens to be Wednesday, and it's Meatloaf Day. It's great,
fantastic
great
meatloaf.
They always have great wings, but. After I told that, I wanted to lead with that a bar story, and I want to talk about the ongoing Irma relief. Now, I'm in the Key Largo Rotary, as well as 3 of my friends here. 2, I can say their names. 1, I can't. Cheryl and Diana here. Cheryl runs the Keys Visitor Center. Florida Keys Visitor Center. I'm getting it right. Up
Florida
at 106
Keys
on
Visitor
the
Center.
Bay Side. You can get great deals there. Diane is the former president, still a big mover and shaker in Florida Keys Rotary. And Florida, what are we doing right now with hurricane relief? What can people do? Do you know that we're still running that ongoing site where you can give donations. If you go to KeyLargoRotary.org, we have a button where you can donate, and all the money, since we're a 501c3 organization, goes into grocery cards, Kmart cards, and go directly to families. We are a volunteer service organization, and we have no administration fees, so the monies that are donated to us go directly into those cards. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Yes, and that's the great thing about these organizations. All these other places, I'm sure Red Cross, they have to maintain infrastructure in order to task people. We are here in place in the Upper Keys, and we know, especially through one of our members, Laura Leotard, who's the people are still in need. They're going to be running out of food. The state did step in with some food for Florida, but there's people that aren't working. There's places that have been put out of business.
There's a lot of people that aren't working because there's a lot of places that still aren't open.
Yeah. So if you really would like to contribute and make affect some change in people's lives and really feel, just go to KeyLargoRotary.org. Go to that Irma relief button and donate. And if we're going to reach out to some of our other Rotary groups and any individuals that are listening.
And also make sure you come down and visit us here in the Keys and the wonderful businesses that are open and support them.
Yeah, we
and
are
the people
open.
working
Yeah,
there because
we're
we are
open.
open.
Fantasy Fest is going to be next week. Cheryl says Florida Keys Visitor Center.
Blow job ever is the theme.
Okay, there we go. Thanks, Luke. A lot of family fun with that one.
And there goes the explicit
Right?
content button already.
Can't take myself nowhere.
Okay, no, that's all right.
okay.
That's
Dress
all
me
right.
up,
That's why I
take me
checked
to
that
school,
box.
and all I want to do is eat the teacher.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Remember what I said about the we'll talk about. So that when I started anger management the other day. Recently, I had a incident here at work, and there was someone who came in, and I've always been on pins and needles around this person. This person gives a little negative energy, sometimes, but I'm always trying to make sure they're fine. They're happy, but they're always lead off with the negative stuff. Well, wasn't it self-fulfilling that this guy's order's coming up, Abby comes walking in to drop off my lunch. This guy goes on a little tirade. I said, it's my fault, not the kitchen's fault. I won't go into all the depth, but I'm so used to trying to take care of this guy. He's doing this in front of my wife, and I'm thinking, this is kind of humiliating. And then I just said, you know what? You're the most negative person I want. You can't talk to that man. I'm going to leave. And I said, you know what? I'd be happy if you never came back again. I did it. I said, I'd be very happy if you never came back through the door. And he spoke to the owner after that and stuff like that. And this person's known to be that way. But it just hit a button. I was embarrassed by my behavior that I did. But I think that if you start trying to denigrate or trying to when you're somewhat abusive in front of someone's family, I think you might be. And this person does. He crossed that line. He crossed the line in the sand. But I also, the rest of the day, I kind of felt I was affected by my reaction. Because whenever you lose
kind
your
of
temper,
brings you down, makes you in a bad mood. It's like, damn, I had a...
Unless you're a total asshole, you don't like getting mad at someone, even if they deserve it. Even
I don't know.
I mean,
sometimes.
am I wrong? Even if they deserve it, when you just like read or say, yes, that's it, we're over. There's no reason for me to raise my tone. And, this guy wasn't going to come across the bar. I didn't have to establish. But, when the needle turns.
There's a small bartender in a bar that will remain nameless that seems to be every time she needs somebody bounced, she comes over to me and goes, hey, that guy over there needs to go. And I'm like, why me? She looks around and she goes, because.
You know what? When it's someone that physically can deserve it and take it, well, I think they know better, because when I get these guys that I would never physically touch because they're older and frail, and I wouldn't do anything to them. But the guys that know that, we could go round and round, I think their behavior is pretty good, because I think they're measuring their chances. You got Monroe County sheriffs across the street. And touch and go. You may win, you may not. You probably will end up in jail, because you only have one road out of town. And I mentioned this before. You're not going to go, unless we're going to be talking about later James Bond film, unless you're going to jump on in a car that turns into a submarine, right? Or one of the gyrocopter's cars, right?
The gyrocopter was cool.
What?
The gyrocopter was cool.
Yeah, the one he did. So I want to talk to you.
You know
what, Luke? Let's talk about how you lost your cool. How do you lose your cool?
Oh, man, as a musician, it's way different, because you're trying to put on a show and entertain people, and you get this fucking asshole that's up there all up in your shit trying to fuck with your shit. Oh, can I play harmonica? And they suck
spitting all over there, yeah.
Oh, man, and whereas as a bartender, you have to be more gregarious. Me, I have to I can hit him in the head with my Les Paul.
Yeah. So you're suggesting I wasn't being very diplomatic.
No, I'm just saying. As a
okay,
musician,
no, I don't mind. That's
I can kick somebody.
I'm taking that.
I have license.
Well, I think I'm more like you.
Sometimes you can only put up with so much shit before you lose your mind.
Do you know that? What's that song?
Which one?
I used to love her, but now I had to kill her.
No. Oh, I like that one, but all your friends are assholes. How's it go?
I bet you got an asshole for a wife.
And let me
tell you, worked out fine, because you're an asshole tonight.
So how do you react? So but do you actually hit someone with your guitar?
In the past, I've had to, in the interest of self-fucking preservation.
Okay, well, how about when you just
I've been shot at before, too.
Okay.
I've seen people gutted in front of me.
In danger, yes. Obviously, any response. But let's say someone just pisses you off enough that you act. What is your action?
Usually, I'm really good at just fucking slaying somebody verbally.
Okay, and that's it. What happened? Okay, and it's like handling heckling. That's heckling.
Well, yeah, but a heckler, I can turn that around and use self-deprecating humor, and anything they can say about me, I can say something worse about me.
Yeah, okay.
That's how you defuse a heckler.
Oh, that's how I handle heckling, too.
But when you're dealing with just an asshole that's just being an asshole, or a lot of time they want to be the center of attention at your expense, And
this is Luke Summers. He's a well-known musician down here and around the world. What am I saying? He's played in Europe and all that. Hey, Bill, how do you do now? Like your different jobs. Let's say
I did the Southeast Honky Tonk circuit for I did the Southeast Honky Tonk circuit for years.
Oh, with the chicken wire and all that?
Not chicken wire, but no,
I've been behind chicken wire.
We were definitely carrying the whole time, and we made it a point that, look, if the bartenders don't shoot you, we will.
Oh, and if you make eyes at the wrong girl's making eyes at you, even though you're trying to ignore her.
I know.
And she might look like the fucking ass end of a fucking buzzard, but her boyfriend thinks she's gorgeous, and you're making eyes, and next thing you know, they're waiting on you to come outside with your shit and go and break, to jump you.
Well, that's not much different than where I'm from.
Yeah.
If you look at, there's Marianne Warren coming in.
But at least the girls up where you're from in the north had to be a little better looking than some of these fucking hens and cows that came into the bars.
The ones I knew were beautiful. They were all beautiful. But there were some people I didn't know and I weren't acquainted with that weren't. And you'd see them out. I don't necessarily talk to them.
Well, you just hung out with the beautiful people?
What?
You just hung out with the beautiful people?
I'm doing this because I'm talking about McGeehans and stuff, and they're going to be listening. I have some friends there, but there are beautiful people up there.
And
just like there are down here.
I've passed towns and went, wow, look at that fucking herd of heifers, and I'll be damned if they didn't all show up at the bar that night.
Oh, you're such a gentleman. Okay. So
a real Gentile.
Okay, well, Bill, once again, you lose it. What do you do? You're at your day work. You got someone hitting you, not hitting you physically.
I pretty much don't lose it.
You've lost it before.
I have.
a couple times a year.
Mine's very short-lived. I
Once a year.
explode and I'm done.
No, they
Kind of like sex.
basically on stage.
Not on stage.
Oh, on stage, I was about to say I've never lost it on
Oh
stage.
no, at work.
Oh, at work,
I've
I
lost
don't.
it on stage. I hate to admit it. But
I have come damn close, and actually, the closest that I've come to losing it on stage was actually another musician.
Yeah.
We were on stage together, and he was just
being a douche.
I just finally pulled his plug and said, "You're done."
Bummer.
Oh, well.
I did do that with a fellow bartender before, and I was making a drink. He was criticizing everything I was doing. He's on the other side. He was working as a server, and then he said something. I said, "You say one more thing, I'm going to drag your ass outside and beat the shit out of you." I said it to him, and he went and ran and told the manager.
Yeah.
He told the manager.
No, when I do lose it, it is as much applied physical violence as physically possible. You are not going to get back up. I will take the first blow, and you will not get up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not trying to be.
I'm not
I don't think I
violent.
actually.
I'm
once
just
I
a
said,
smart ass.
once I lose my
No,
shit.
I'm talking about personally.
I'm not really happy about it.
And the only time that that's happened in recent memory was a gentleman giving my wife a hard time.
Well, that's.
And that was finally, tried to be super nice. She tried to be super nice, and
That's
after
understandable.
about 45 minutes of that, he got dropped. And the bartender was actually really good. She goes, I was waiting for that about half an hour ago.
I've heard this thing. So, hey, Chill, I know you don't want to say this about the visitor center, but I ever worked someplace and let's say with people with animals and just lost it with them.
Things that piss you off.
Anger at work, like when you're when it goes up, you feel that thermometer going up, and it just Well, tell me an incident. Something happened. Reflect on this and tell me one single incident.
Okay. I used to run a boarding kennel up in Ohio, and I had a client call me up, and she was a young girl, probably in her early 20s, and she said, "What should I do? I see my neighbor beating his dog. He just took it and threw it against the side of the house."
Oh, man.
And I said, "Call 911 right now. Where do you live?" And she told me the address. I closed up. I ran over there. On my way over, I'm calling the dog warden. She's calling 911 for the police because she's witnessing this asshole beating up his dog. So we get there. He was arrested. The dog was taken to the Humane Society. She did a statement, but she was really scared. I'm telling you, that raises my blood pressure so bad. I've never been arrested, but if I am ever arrested, it is going to be over someone beating up an animal. I'll fucking kill him.
Man, I always get arrested for stupid shit like smoking dope and
Diane, at work, did you ever have an
taking a
incident
piss behind a dumpster?
where you felt like you want to maintain control? We got a seat for Marianne right over here. Get yourself a drink. Well, when you're at work and something occurs and you normally can maintain your cool, but you couldn't. Was there an instance where you couldn't? You're reflecting really hard. It sounds like you don't. When I see someone have to think that hard, it doesn't happen too often, did it?
She's trying to clear if she can put it on the radio.
Really? I get really relaxed myself.
All the
sometimes,
names
but
and places
sometimes-
have been changed.
Maybe it's not safe to eat all that aggression. You never gave it to somebody?
I have felt that way, but I've done it in devious ways
Yeah.
that quietly,
Yep.
but I get my point across.
Like peeing in somebody's coffee?
She wasn't in the
no,
service
but
industry.
not far off.
Peeing in the
Yeah,
coffee.
okay, we don't need to go there.
Yeah, we
can all use our
Marianne
imagination.
Warren's here. We were talking about. We started out talking about remembrance of mine, but we went into anger management about how we deal with anger at work, how sometimes we don't necessarily deal with it well, and how we just, well, it was mainly me going apeshit on some dude the other day here. It was, and the guy goes, I don't know why he's talking this way. Believe me, this guy deserved it. And the other people say, I can't believe you served him so.
I think it's hard to be in a service industry and not go off on somebody because there are assholes out there, and I think they know it, and they just egg you on, wondering how far they're going to push you, and I agree.
My dad used to say...
Generally, I just feel bad for the assholes because they got to live with themselves all the time.
I was that in the Bible. My dad always...
Jim, I've been to the bar where you're working. I can't imagine you having an issue with anger management at the bar with somebody.
Can't provoke
you're just
somebody
always
to
so
anger.
easygoing. You always talk it through. I can't imagine you really having anger issues.
Yeah, I agree.
If you ever watch Seinfeld, remember the Serenity Now?
Yes.
Serenity Now?
No.
Frank Costanza. Serenity now! Serenity now! It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. And sometimes, remember the movie The Big Lebowski? When he goes, hey man, this aggression shall not stand. When the guy peed on his rug and all that.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes it's just like you went over the line and that's it. And that's what happened. And I did. I felt bad about it. I felt
He
very
treats
bad.
objects like women, man.
Yes. Objects like women. So I think we covered it. I meditated afterwards. And I think what I do is I'm always like putting the cork in the bottle. And then I build up. And then rarely is it someone who's undeserving. Yeah. Rarely is it undeserving when someone...
Sometimes
Sometimes,
man, you take it from somebody else, and then you end up biting somebody else's head off, and you're like, "Fuck, man!"
If it's a family or friend or someone that's
because you're one was supposed to like bark, especially like a boss or a big wig or the boss's son or the boss's ugly daughter that you got drunk and fucked at the company party, and then went nothing to do with her no more.
Yeah, Marianne, this is
she
little
wouldn't go.
This is Keys bartender, not Keys church. It's a round table. The look on Marianne's face was, my God.
That was back in the electronic business.
We did it. Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on.
How'd that work out for you?
We're going to move on, and it's not going to get any better. But we're going to start talking license to chill, and that goes back to anger management, how we release it, and also we go in this awkward segue into movies. And a lot of the Bond movies were made down here. Goldfinger was Miami. Sean Connery had a house in North Key Largo on the Bayside. I saw it. A friend of mine lived across the street from the house that he had rented for when they were filming. They did A License to Kill, and that was Key West and the 7 Mile Bridge. They did a scene where the drug lord, and they did a bunch of scenes filming down here.
Yeah, they had. That's when they blew up the bridge for the Jamie Lee Curtis movie.
Oh, that's True Lies. Well, let's finish up with James Bond. And then Casino Royale was in Miami too. And
really, I haven't seen that.
Casino Royale.
I haven't seen any of the new Bond.
Okay,
flicks.
well, he was a great.
Last one I saw
James
was probably
Bond.
Roger
He was
Moore.
physically the toughest James Bond, because when he ran up the edge of a crane, and it wasn't him. I mean, it wasn't him. It was him. It wasn't a stunt guy. And you see him running up a 45-degree crane and doing stuff. He didn't do parkour.
Well, actually, the crane was flat. They just made it look 45 degrees.
Put the camera at a 45-degree angle.
You're right. Forced perspective or something.
Yeah.
But the guy looked like, it's hard to show. It's hard to show you leaning in.
No, man, all you got to do is bear crawl. Looks like you're leaning in.
No, he was running up it.
Well, you can still...
You got to watch Casino Royale.
Yeah.
It's the best opening scene.
Which one is that? That's
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. You know, I've seen
trailers. Casino Royale. The opening 10 minutes are the most action-packed of any.
Yeah, I've seen trailers of him, and he does look like he is truly a badass.
He committed to that. But we're getting off this. You were talking about the keys. You see, we did True Lies. Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis. Tom Arnold's biggest movie after having to be married. Not having to be married, but he married Roseanne.
That was a poor decision.
No, it wasn't, man. Look what happened to his career after that.
This is true.
It blew up, right?
Yeah, he took off.
His career got bigger than hers.
Yeah.
As big.
Big as her butt, anyway.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, but True Lies, it started in Miami, right? That's where the family was, right? And they did, and once again, the 7 Mile Bridge with it. They with the Harrier.
Yeah, they blew it up.
The Harrier. They blew up
What was that
part of the 7 Mile
revenge
Bridge.
movie, man, where the dude was in the Keys and he was at war with these gangsters or drug dealers or whatever.
Scarface.
Huh?
Scarface.
No. This was and his family lived like in Marathon or Big Pine or somewhere like that, and they had this really nice house, and the bad guys came and he shot it all up. I don't know. I just remember this movie.
Scarface?
Man. No.
That's what I thought.
No, this was a young, handsome dude, and he had a hot wife and good-looking kids, and his wife and the kid are trying to get away in a pickup truck at some point, and they're getting chased, and they end up murdering everybody, and and then they end up blowing up the dock, and he jumps off, and they think he's dead.
Schindler's List?
No, and so he floats up somewhere, and some Spanish guy takes care of him and gets him back on his feet. Remember that freaking movie?
Godfather!
No, man. Fuck, I don't know.
What do you think?
I guessed a couple times. I'm at a loss.
Dumb and Dumber.
No,
that's us.
Ask your
I'm just
plastic
kidding.
brain, man.
Yeah, no, that's us.
Well, we were talking some of the movies. Okay?
Let's see,
we
we
got
were talking
True
about
Lies,
Bond
Goldfinger,
movies,
and all. And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. There was obviously the classic one, Key Largo, which, sorry to say, it's going to piss people off.
Was not filmed.
The biggest part of Key Largo Key Largo was in it was the opening credits when they're flying on I guess a single engine plane filming the overseas highway.
Yeah, the overview of the highway
of the stretch.
The 2-lane highway back then.
And there were a lot more Indians in the Keys back then. Because now there's virtually none. No, but they featured well. But Al Capone, he stayed in the Redlands Hotel up in Homestead. You know that?
No, I did not.
Al Capone stayed in there. That was before Key Largo. Yeah, he stayed in the Redlands Hotel. There was this movie, and this is my clunker. There was Blood and Wine. That was filmed at the Caribbean Club, and Larry, the bartender, had a good part in it. But it was Jack Nicholson.
Really? I'll have to watch
Michael
that.
Caine. Jennifer Lopez, Stephen.
Had to be in the 70s because Michael Caine was.
No, it wasn't. It was in the late 90s.
Late 90s because Michael Caine was in like every movie ever made from like 76 to 85.
But come on, he was in the Batman movies, the remakes with Christian Bale. But he did Blind Wine. He was an older British safecracker that had emphysema or something. He's always coughing up blood. And
Flipper, man. That was
Flipper
in the Keys,
was down here.
man.
Flipper was in the Keys.
Largo, man.
The worst movie, I believe, ever made in the Keys is one called Fool's Gold. Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson, Donald Sutherland.
It's about I've actually seen that.
My wife made me go to see that. And they show Key.
Yeah,
supposedly it was
that
placed in the Keys. It wasn't made in the Keys.
Yeah, that could possibly be one of the worst movies that I've seen.
Yeah,
It's
because
right
they show them
there with,
anchored.
like, Chud.
They're supposedly anchored off Key West, and they're showing mountains on the island. Now, Key West has the high point of the Key West is 12 feet, maybe. It's 12 feet. There's no mountains. That's it.
They were expendable. That was a Florida Keys movie. They were expendable.
Was that filmed in the Keys?
Yeah.
They were expendable.
American PT boats and defense pillars.
Oh, okay. That's about the John Wayne one. They were expendable.
Keys. Yeah.
Was that John Wayne?
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, John Wayne, Donna
Robert
Reed.
Montgomery,
Yeah.
Donna Reed. What's the other one? Okay, we got other
There's
ones.
a whole bunch of them, man. The Frogman, Beneath the 12-Mile Reefer. Reef.
Beneath the 12-Mile Reef.
The Rose Tattoo.
Okay.
I'm looking.
We were
for
talking
that
about movies made in the Keys.
stupid one that I've been looking for.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite Keys movie?
Square Grouper.
Square. He's making a reference to drug fines in the Keys. Square Grouper.
No, there was a documentary called Square Grouper.
Well, that's a documentary.
That's a movie.
Well, that's a movie.
I think so too.
No,
It's a category.
I guess it's in film. Yeah, it is recognized by film, but it's news stories, documentary, not the True Lies. Cheryl says True Lies and some. What that porn movie you said that was made here?
I don't know what porn movie was here.
What one were you referring to?
From 1975 to 92.
No, you mentioned something.
92.
Johnny Holmes.
92 in the Shade. Peter
You
Fonda.
said Johnny Holmes
Burgess
and
Meredith.
what's it, Sage Blanthworth? Okay.
Okay.
Well,
No
this is
porn
going to be.
movies.
This is good because we're going to go into the next one. Since we're got on Back to Bonds, I want to talk. I'm going to ask someone go down. Name a name from a Bond woman you found borderline objectionable. These are PG movies.
Oh, come on.
Okay, name one. Bill.
Octopussy.
Octopussy.
Fine.
What is it?
I love that tattoo.
Octopussy.
Okay, that's one.
Pussy galore.
Pussy Galore
That is
was number
probably-
one. Pussy Galore. Pussy Galore. That means a lot of pussy. Okay? If you can say, I went to a party and there was pussy galore. I'm talking about the woman.
Hey, that's quite the party.
Yeah. Okay. There's one in Moonraker. Does anybody know the one? And the first name is Holly.
Come on, if nobody knows it, I know it.
You know it?
Yeah, Holly. Dr. Goodhead.
Holly Goodhead.
Dr.
Goodhead.
Goodhead.
Holly Goodhead.
See, if Tom was here, he would know everything.
Okay. This Holly Goodhead.
I thought it was
Like, who
Dr.
would even let their
Goodhead.
child walk out of the house like that? You know? Oh, your boob's out. Oh, you're Holly Goodhead. Okay, how about this one? She was a lady of the evening in Las Vegas, and Diamonds Are Forever. Anybody know?
I love that movie, and it's
here
killing
it
me that I
is.
can't pull up the
Don't
name.
say no if you found it by that. What? Oh, the movie?
Another one of the one I was talking about with Goldie
Crisscross.
Hawn.
We'll get back to that.
Crisscross, yeah, that was
One
one
of
of
the different- okay.
Anyway, sorry. Takes me a while to read.
I know.
ain't got
I
glasses.
know. You're
Come
back
on,
in
Jim.
the 80s. We're in the 90s. Okay. It's Plenty O'Toole.
Oh, that's
Plenty
right.
O'Toole. That should be a guy's name. I would be Plenty O'Toole.
There you go. Keep on
Plenty O'Toole.
dreaming there.
Okay, this is really bad. It's number 5, but no one. The man with the golden gun. She was an Asian woman.
Oh.
She was Scaramanga. I think his name was Scaramanga.
Scaramanga.
It was Christopher Lee. He was the assassin that used a golden gun. He would just sit there. The guy he was going to kill, he would take out a lighter and then look at these things, and it looked like he's taking out these gold pieces. That was the man with the golden gun, where he assembled a gun in front of the person he was going to kill, and the person had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, it
and
was
then
a
he had to take it
lighter.
together, had two bullets, and shoot him right in the
Yeah,
head.
it was a lighter, a pen.
Yeah. Okay, it's Chew Me. Chew
Me.
Wow.
Ah, Troy.
Okay. This one I don't really understand. GoldenEye. That's the movie. It's Xenia on a top. Xenia on a top.
Well, she had the golden eye instead of the brown eye.
I know, they were running out. Honey, okay, Dr. No.
Oh, wow.
This is kind of borderline pedophile. Honey Child Rider.
Honey Child. That's it.
Honey Child Rider. How about this? You can't guess now. Another one from The Man with the Golden Glove, The Mary Goodnight.
Oh, that's not so horrible.
That's not so bad. How about this one? Dr. Molly Warm Flash. Warm Flash.
I guess that's better than having a hot flash, man.
Yeah, Dr. Christmas Jones. Oh, God. They were pretty bad. They're not. but Solitaire, Thumper.
I remember Thumper, and her. What was her other friend's name where they beat the hell out of him?
Bambi and Thumper.
Bambi and Thumper. They beat the hell out of Sean Connery.
Goldfinger Dink. Dink was the name of a girl. Dink. And it wasn't an Asian woman.
That was my sister. Not my sister. My dad's sister's nickname was Dink. D-I-N-K. Dink. That was their name on the radio. Dink and Sam.
Octopussy.
His name was Talmadge. Her name was Garnetti.
Penelope Smallbone. Penelope Smallbone. And then You Only Live Twice. Kissy Suzuki.
I remember Kissy Suzuki.
But her real name was
Jenny
Yamaha.
Flex. Yeah, they're kind of get really bad. But Vesper Lynn, Bambi, Penn. It was yours was the first one. Yeah, they didn't know. They Electra King, Wale, Tiffany Case, Fiona Volpe, Miranda Frost, Severine. Yeah, they got. Oh, it's right here. It is Holly Berry is Giacinta Jinx Johnson. Jinx. So they kind of wrote, I guess all they had was they came up with the two names with pussy in it.
Yeah.
Austin Powers was the only one that topped those with a lot of vagina. A lot of vagina.
I have never seen the Austin Powers movies.
You never saw it? Well, in the first one, the the cohort of number 2 was a lot of vagina, and she was an Italian woman, and they didn't even say vagina though; they said vagina. But I was thinking about all the weird names people would have had in the movie. What was that TV show in the 80s? We were talking about the one with Alec Keaton.
Silver Spoons. Family
Ties. And their friend was Boner.
Boner. His name was Boner.
Dude.
Boner, yeah.
Boner.
Now,
Boner.
Oh, God, are you kidding me? That's what we always said, Boner. I got a boner.
Because you're a guy. We never thought anything about that in the 80s.
Oh, my God. I went to Catholic school, and all the girls knew what boner was.
Boner. Because she had a really unusual large clitoris, and it kind of did look like a boner when she was excited. It did. It was
That's Luke. This show's going downhill really fast. We're going to...
That's okay. I got to go to work here in a minute anyway. So.
You do? Where are you going to work tonight?
At the Pilot House.
Oh, really? You better not get too effed up, man.
I usually do, but that's okay.
Henry said we got a 10th of the club here. We can start our satellite. She said that.
No, well, right now I want to. I guess we're not going to sign off. We're going to talk once again about Irma relief.
There you go.
We'll go back to remember, folks. There's still families here that are in need. They're homeless, meaning they may be living in. Many people in a smaller house,
especially in the Upper Keys. We didn't realize that, especially in the Upper Keys, that it's just shaken out now. That there was a lot more damage and long-term stuff
because it wasn't widespread. It was the tornadoes, right?
Yeah, it was.
There were tornadoes.
We had some tornadoes that touched down and hit some neighborhoods, and then there were certain neighborhoods that got hit really hard by flooding. And generally, the Upper Keys are in really good shape. And most of us didn't realize that there were certain small areas that were hit super hard.
When a neighborhood I'm on Oceanside, but when a neighborhood, your immediate area, you look at your neighbors and their houses aren't destroyed, and you go walk down the street and you see the whole insides of the house, the drywall and everything's ripped out. They can't live there. There's mold and all that stuff. So right now, we'll remind people again, our friend who's the principal at the elementary school up there started noticing there were upwards of 25% of the children that were there were displaced, and their families were in distress. They didn't have enough money. They were crowded living conditions, and they needed supplies. They needed clothing. And it's very important. It's the instinct to send clothes and food is great, but these people have specific needs, and I know it sounds horrible when you said send money, but we're asking you to send money. And go to KeyLargoRotary.org and you'll see a site that says Irma, a button that says Irma Relief. Hit that and be rest assured 100% of the money that comes in goes into aid directly to families in the form of a gift card. It could be a Publix gift card, our local grocery store, a Winn-Dixie gift card, Kmart, so you get clothes and groceries and things like that. And we are a 501c3 organization, so that's the reason why we don't have a volunteer organization. We don't have to spend money on administrations, things like that. And so I would appreciate if you did it. And I'd like to say once again, hi to my friends in Philadelphia. Luke's doing a picture right now. I'd like to say hi to my friends in Philadelphia, McGeehans Rock Bottom. Hi, Pat, Nora, Megan, Neil, John, Mike. I'm sorry I haven't been back in such a long time. We are going to go back. We're going to do a simulcast with them one time.
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'm going to link up with them, and we'll get together with my local bar in Philadelphia. And I'd like to have them in. And there
you go.
They're going to have to be on their toes. They're very sharp group of people.
Philadelphia?
No, well, this family is very intelligent.
There are sure people in
very
Philadelphia.
quick wit. So
There are?
I'm just going to need to prepare.
Of course
we have
there
a group
are.
of
Jim
people here
left.
that have a quick wit, but it was very hard for me
I'm
to
from
stay
Pittsburgh.
up with them. And if you know that means they were of such a quick wit, I had a hard time staying up with them. You see what that means? Okay. Do we have anything we need to promote? We got Marvelous Pet Rescues. I think you're having a spaghetti no balls thing. When is that? November 10th at Snooks. And they can go $150 a ticket. It all goes to the rescue. It's the only fundraiser of the year. And you can go to spaghetti.com. And that's an event here. Now, folks, we want to remind people that the Keys are open for business. Fantasy Fest is going down. And
That starts next week, Cheryl?
Next week?
That's next week.
If you want to, just contact Cheryl at the Florida Keys Visitor Center, and they'll tell you all about all the great deals they have on hotel rooms, dive boats, and all these things. Right, Cheryl?
Yep. Nope. We have snorkeling. We've got diving. Everything is open.
What's your address again,
Keys
Cheryl?
Visitor Center. Do what?
What's your Facebook address again?
It's 106240. We are the first visitor center on the right when you come in. 305-712-6596.
Okay. And Marianne, are you promoting anything right now? Real estate. Marianne Warren.
All right, real estate opportunities in the Florida Keys are really good right now. The market is actually strong, and we have a good need for rental properties. If anybody is actually looking for a really good investment, good time to buy now because the rental income is actually really good, better than it's ever been. And, the properties in the Upper Keys weren't damaged quite as much. But there's some good opportunities, so definitely give me a call, 305-394-1427.
Thank you, Marianne. I'm going to have a guest speaker come on the show and probably come into Rotary, and she's talking to an individual that wants to spend $10 million on workforce housing, and they're talking about modular units that can be brought in quickly into place. And when you bring in that much money, it's actually because it's the cranes they need to place them and put them on the foundations and hook them in and all that, whatever they're going to do, that's important. But I have the woman's name and number in my wallet right here. I have a binder full of women. You remember what Mitt Romney said? I have a binder. No. Yes. But we're going to have
we're going to have a binder full of women.
A binder
next
full
weekend.
of people. And Diane, do you like to promote anything? Do you have something? No? Henry. Okay.
You have nothing
Our
going
nameless
on.
friend. I got yours in there. Okay. Let's talk about
Let's see.
Bill.
Tomorrow night we have Cody James and the Key Billies here at the Kitch.
Yeah?
That's always a good show. That's
Okay,
always
that's
fun.
the what? Cooler of Cheer tickets. I mean, if you can go to where can they get them on our site?
Yes, you can. can.
Okay, you can go to KeyLargoRotary.org. We got cooler cheer tickets. I think you can get a Yeti cooler, and they'll give an in-kind cash. Do we do a cash thing? No, we don't do a cash thing. So that's only for local. So I guess our listeners in France won't be buying it. No. We don't have a lot of local.
The Cooler of Cheers, basically a fundraiser for our Take Stock in Children. It is a cooler of cheer that's a Yeti cooler, and it has every kind of alcohol you could possibly have. I won it last year. It was fantastic.
That's right, you did.
I did. I won it. It was $1,500 worth of booze, every kind of booze you ever want. And
It is this year, too.
all you have to do is buy tickets, go to the website, and you can win this great. I have a lot of the booze left.
When is the party?
Marianne, wait, weren't you? That's the same. When you won it, you put yourself right on the liver transplant list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that correct? So, I was
good.
explaining. I said there's not more than 60% of our listeners are not local. So that donation one goes a lot further. Talking about Hurricane Irma relief goes a lot further because 60% of our listeners are outside the area. No, when I say inside the area, that's Florida. So they're still 500 miles away. So
You
they
know
may come
when
in.
your friends come down and go,
But if you
hey,
do
I'm
win,
going
if
to
you
be
want
in
to buy a ticket and
Jacksonville.
plan to
and
pick up your Yeti cooler, that's maybe you want to do that.
You know when your friends come down and go, hey, I'm going to be in Jacksonville. You want to come meet me for dinner?
You know what? If you do buy chances,
No.
you are a listener, you want to buy a chance for it, you could donate it to me, and I'll redonate it back. Minus a couple bottles of liquor. Billy and I will knock in there. Right, Bill?
Yeah, Jim and I will go through and
We'll go and we'll
find
look.
a couple
And we just, you know
choice
what? We'll
bottles
just
and
check to see what kind of liquor there is in there, and we'll do
We'll
something.
have to do a little bit of quality control on the bourbons.
Hey, Luke, do we have music to play at the end?
Yes.
Okay. Well, okay. So this is. So, like to say goodbye?
Let's see. Well, no, because I'm still doing promo stuff. We got Thursday with the Key Billies here, and then we're going to say goodbye because I don't know the dates.
Okay, and stay tuned.
But you're
folks.
actually going to be a part of that too. You don't know this.
Okay, that's great. Okay, I didn't know that. Is it? They're not raffling off.
No, we're not
okay,
raffling.
don't worry about it.
We're actually raffling Jim
Not
off.
that picture book I made.
No, not the picture book.
Okay, that's no one's supposed to know about the picture book.
There you go.
I just made that up. Okay. This is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from the Catch Restaurant. I'd like to say hi to all my fans before we sign off, especially the international ones. Thank you from Ireland, France, United Kingdom, Leyland, Netherlands,
Poland,
Debica,
Poland.
Poland. If you understand enough, and
Yes.
Kohemcha. Je me souviens to my French,
There you go.
English listeners, and Macau.
We
I got my buddy in
appreciate
Macau,
y'all.
Pat Hogan, and any of my friends in Texas, in Mountain View, California.
There you go.
Palo Alto. We're thinking about you too with all the wildfires. You hope you get out of here.
Oh, that's a
out
mess.
there all right. This is the Keys bartender
There you
signing
go.
off. And
And all our friends down in the South, thank y'all. We do appreciate y'all
and
listening.
And whenever we get internet back into Puerto Rico, maybe
Oh.
we could do something for those guys. Do we have music to put on in this one? Okay, thank you very much, and take care, folks. God bless.